We're finally back for another Filmmaker Friday. Robert Townsend is a legend. Legend. Absolute legend. Literally, I studied him in film school, kind of legend. Wrote papers about him, kind of legend. Writer, director, producer, worked in comedy, narrative, even documentary at times. It's February 14th, 2025. It's very windy, so bear with me, and we're going to put this microphone to the test. Robert Townsend has not gotten his credit, especially in terms of awards over the years. He was an indie darling and made a lot of his films independently, which is another reason he's a huge hero of mine. Since we are in Black History Month, I felt like it was essential that we go back and cover one of my favorite black filmmakers, favorite filmmaker, period. But we're definitely going to need to cover him in Black History Month. So if you haven't watched Hollywood Shuffle, start there. It's all about his struggle when he came to LA and encountered how acting and auditioning and trying to make it as an actor was different in Hollywood. He co-wrote this with Keenan Ivory Wayans, and that relationship obviously continued for a while. You can see how much these two influence each other's writing, and they are just so witty and funny. After Hollywood Shuffle, Robert Townsend directed Raw for Eddie Murphy, his big special that was such a breakout for both of them. Townsend directed The Five Heartbeats, which is a semi-autobiographical story about a 1960s R&B group that apparently the Crows and the Grackles are very interested in hearing more about. So you should check it out too. When Robert Townsend transitioned into more acting, he got his big break opposite Denzel Washington in A Soldier's Story. He was also in Streets of Fire with Diane Lane, a big favorite of mine. Townsend also directed on the small screen, it was for TV, but it was Carmen, a hip opera starring Beyonce. And if you don't remember that, here's what that looked like. Yes, yes. He was involved in NBC's Little Richard movie. He also did the Natalie Cole story, Living for Love. Robert Townsend also won the Image Award when he directed 10,000 Black Men Named George, which was for Showtime, a TV movie starring Andre Braugher. One of Townsend's films you might not have heard of is called Meteor Man, but the cast is pretty intense. It's James Earl Jones and Eddie Griffin, but unfortunately, Bill Cosby is also this one. Robert Townsend did have a little involvement with Bill Cosby, so we're just going to skip right over those moments and continue on to the star of the show. Robert Townsend, in addition to his illustrious acting, producing, all of these careers, by far the highlight is the fact that he directed Baps. So we're just going to take a moment to bask in the glory of Baps. Look at this fashion, iconic, you know? I mean, I rewatch it on a pretty regular basis. It just is delightful and so heartwarming, and the acting is these ladies, the chemistry of all of the leads, yeah, just phenomenal. If you don't know already, now you know Robert Townsend, and you will realize his influence. Once you properly take in his films, you will see how much he has influenced films that have followed behind him, especially in the comedy realm. And if you haven't already seen our segment on Gina Prince Bythewood, please go back down to our feed and make sure to watch that one as well. She is just one of my favorite filmmakers, and we covered her very early on in the Filmmaker series. So please go and check out that video as well.